Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat C of the series. Last time out we saw a dominant performance from the former champions Panic Attack, while Dietor finally broke its losing streak in spectacular fashion. This week it's the turn of the 5th seeds 2GF2 Fabulous to start their colourful campaign alongside the top front hinge flipperbot in these parts P1 back as the 16th seed. Let's see who else will join them tonight.
First, from Brighton and seeded number 5, 2GF2 Fabulous.
The prideful bar spinner stormed all the way to the semi-finals last year, but with minimal upgrades, will that wear count against them?
From New Hampshire in the USA and seeded number 16, P1.
The front hinge machine had a steady campaign to the top 16 last time, although rumour has it they have a secret weapon to push themselves further.
From Telford, Diabolical Toothpick.
DT made its first final in the All-Stars recently, but it's going to be tough for the Crusher to keep pace with tonight's field.
From Snodland, Block of Napalm.
The unassuming Axbot made its debut in the recent International, although I'm worried whether it can hold up to the spinners tonight.
From Virginia in the USA, Pain.
The second external robot of the night, Pain is a proven robot on the CRBL scene and could prove to be a real thorn in the seeds side tonight. We begin the action with the 5th seeds taking on the rookies Block of Napalm, so let's get stuck in.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Now this might seem like a bit of a foregone conclusion, but do not count Block of Napalm out just yet. Don't forget how good they were in this year's International Special. Oh, but the face immediately being torn off at the back there of Block of Napalm. 2GF2 Fabulous and number 5 seed in this series, showing why it is seeded so high. That spinner is deadly. Off comes the back now. Or the front, I guess that is. I'm not too sure, actually. What is that? The front or the back? Not too sure. Either way, Block of Napalm is now stuck on it. Don't forget, though, they're a very resilient machine, Block of Napalm. They don't die easily, and they have beaten a big, scary spinner in the past. But this is our number 5 seeds, and they are showing why they are seeded that high. Although I think the chains come off. It has! The chains come off the spinner. You can see it just trailing around there. Block of Napalm have released the pit, and a well-timed push could see one of the biggest upsets in this series so far. But I'm not too sure if Block of Napalm have the pushing power. 2GF2 Fabulous easily pushing them back across the arena there. It's those big grippy tyres, you can see. That power of the machine. Block of Napalm, those wheels not managing to get enough purchase. I'm not too sure what that little tap was meant to do there. They hit the arena floor. That's bad control. For me, 2GF2 Fabulous is winning this one at the moment, but they have lost their weapon, which is very serious damage. But Block of Napalm are not able to really capitalise on it. And 2GF2 Fabulous, a well-timed push here, could see Block of Napalm in the pit. Or has 2GF2 Fabulous died under no pressure at all? They seem to be... Are they moving? I think they're just moving. They're fidgeting for certain. And I think enough movement is being made just to get them across the arena and not have them counted out. Block of Napalm on the verge of going down and then finally dropped into the pit. And 2GF2 Fabulous, what a skin of their teeth there, get the big KO win. Ooh, talk about a rough start though for 2GF. They did start brilliantly. They managed to use that spinner to cause horrendous damage, but then their weapon broke here, and after that they were on the edge and on the rough patch for a while, but thankfully due to superior pushing power and grip they were able to eventually get a Block of Napalm down the pit and get the first 3 points of the heat.
Some good destruction from Jeff, but not without cause for concern as that chain snapped once more. Next up it's a rematch from last year between Diabolical Toothpick and P1 with that new secret weapon.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So we are seeing for the first time ever in LEGO Wars here a mini-bot accompanying P1, our number 16 seeds. Now I must admit I wasn't actually informed what the name of the mini-bot is called, so I'm just going to call it Clementine. And it's been very, very, very ineffective so far, nearly being flipped over by its own big brother, I guess you could call P1. P1 pushing back against Diabolical Toothpick. Diabolical Toothpick did pretty well early on in the All-Stars tournament early on in this year. Let's hope that they can maybe use some of that talent to get far in this series of LEGO Wars. Being pushed back though by P1. P1 not managing to get underneath Diabolical Toothpick as well as we thought they would at this point, but now able to. Nearly flipping Diabolical Toothpick up and over, but Diabolical Toothpick managing to balance back onto its wheels. That rear wing obviously working very well. Clementine also working very well, managing to get underneath the side of Diabolical Toothpick. Speaking of which, that side has been pulled off. I also think the front wedge has been pulled off. Yes, look, one of the front wedges on P1 has been pulled off. Now Diabolical Toothpick releasing the pit, but being pushed back once again by P1. P1 certainly has the superior pushing power. The four-wheel drive not letting it down. I love Clementine. Look at that little thing go. It's absolutely brilliant. Those little scoops at the front are really effective. Oh, look at this. Brilliant team effort there by P1 and the mini-bot Clementine. And that's a 3-point win for them. Well done. Diabolical Toothpick didn't really get a chance to shine in that fight, I must be honest. Being pushed back, I think, as you can notice there, one of the front teeth got bent up, which meant they couldn't get underneath P1, which meant it was all too easy for P1 to just push them and bully them around, really. They nearly got flipped over a couple of times, but the real star, in my opinion, was Clementine, managing to get in the way and cause all kinds of problems and help P1 get Diabolical Toothpick down the pit.
A brilliant display of teamwork there from P1 and Clementine as they start their campaign strongly. Now it's time for the new verse on the block, Pain, to test their weapon against the Rainbow Bar of Jeff.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
A big clash of the spinners here. 2 Jeff, 2 Fabulous will of course start as the favourite. Seeded 5th, very experienced, but Pain is a scary looking newcomer. Bits and pieces flying everywhere on the first impact. Now, I'm not too sure where those pieces came from. I think they were from Pain. So 2 Jeff, 2 Fabulous so far are in the lead as far as damage points are concerned. Though one of the side panels has now fallen off and another one. And the top panel has come off as well. That spinner on Pain looks damn frightening, I tell you that much. Another huge hit there. And is 2 Jeff, 2 Fabulous okay here? They don't seem to be getting much perch on the arena floor. They seem to be struggling getting any grip. Oh my goodness me! They got taken about 2 or 3 inches off the floor there. Pain is a scary looking newcomer to this series of LEGO Wars. I think 2 Jeff, 2 Fabulous has lost its spinner. Oh my goodness me! It's completely been disintegrated. Could this be the weapon to watch out for in this series? Oh my goodness me, of LEGO Wars, I think so. Not just this heat, but this series.
6.
I think Pain could be a robot to definitely watch out for here. There's nothing left of them. That's our 5th seeds and they've just been minced. I can't believe my eyes. Whew, get my breath back. Well, it started well for Jeff for about 2 seconds, and after that Pain said, on your bike, son, and absolutely mullered them. Damage onto the drive shaft, it sent them in the air, look. Oh dear, the chassis was mullered, the weapon was gone. I tell you what, the entire thing was absolutely mullered. Look at it, just creamed. This is a real weapon, and that is some serious damage.
That has to be some of the biggest destruction we've seen in LEGO Wars. Pain will take the 3 points, while 2 Jeff, 2 Fabulous has a huge repair job to get it back in the arena, let alone progress tonight. For now though, it's the 2 pointless spots so far, Block of Napalm and Diabolical Toothpick to get some points on the board.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Diabolical Toothpick will be looking to get a good win here after their disappointing performance in the last fight. Meanwhile, Block of Napalm also lost by a KO, but at least proved itself to be a sturdy opponent. Although at the moment they seem to be getting stuck on their backplate once again. I'm not really too sure why that keeps happening. Might be a little bit of a design fault. They might want to have a look at that in the future!
6.
What on earth just happened? Diabolical Toothpick! What? What? Just, Block of Napalm win.
God damn it, Block of Napalm, this is the second time you've broken Anderson. That sneaky pitting though from the rookies to sink the veteran Crusher leaves Diabolical Toothpick in serious trouble. Now it's arguably the two most impressive machines we've seen so far this heat, Pain against P1.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
I know that P1 are the seeds for this one, and I know they've got a mini-bot, but after its performance in this last fight, Pain has become an instant favourite to win this heat, in my opinion, despite being a rookie in LEGO Wars. That spinner is absolutely devastating, but P1, to be fair, have so far managed to take the brunt of the hits of that spinner. They're using their wedge well as well here to expose the high ground clearance. Is this the kind of design it takes to deflect and to basically protect yourself against a spinner like this? Because look, not much damage is being done until there. One of the panels on the top have been ripped away. Meanwhile, Clementine backing away, and rightfully so, being hit hard there by Pain. And there's a little bit of chassis damage done to oh dear. Oh, Clementine. Oh, and now P1 having more damage under its top panel. Pain were flipped there, but they righted themselves almost instantly. You can see little Clementine, or what's left of it anyway, trying desperately to continue getting back into this fight. It's not going to work, I'm afraid, guys. Oh, but P1 flipping them over again. This is a good battle here so far between these two. P1 and Pain, two very different machines going head to head. P1. Oh! There's nothing left. Poor Clementine. And I think P1 have all of a sudden, I think the damage is all of a sudden taking its toll on P1, because they're barely moving now and more bits go flying. You do not want to be a sitting duck when that spinner hits you. And unfortunately, that's exactly what P1 is right now. And Pain with another huge hit there. And I think they've done to P1 here what they did to Jeff 2 Fabulous. They've buckled the wheels. They've buckled the drive mechanism, which means it can't move off the arena floor. It can't gain the right purchase. And they're being counted out. Leave poor Clementine alone. It's already done. It's finished. What do you gain from anything? Oh, God.
6.
That's just uncalled for. Oh, dear. Well, it started off as a very good, very close fight. P1 managing to flip Pain several times. Pain, though, was able to deal some serious damage to it and its mini-bot Clementine. That was the hit there for me, I think, that really did it. P1 never really recovered properly from that attack. They did manage to get a couple of flicks in, yes, but the drive mechanism towards the end was knackered. The hits were dealt by Pain, and eventually Pain managed to secure a KO victory. Oh dear.
A heartbreaking defeat from the jaws of victory for P1 as Pain takes a second KO and looks in fine form to scare its remaining opponents as we go into the second half. We've heard from the pits though Jeff is needing more time to repair, so we'll skip to the next fight and a chance for P1 to get back on track against Block of Napalm.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So, have P1 and Clementine been fully repaired since their fight with Pain? Yes, by the looks of things. Both machines are in one piece and at least moving, which I think is still the one that can be said for our number 5 seeds to Jeff 2 Fabulous. There, Clementine, good tactics, going for the pit button, whilst P1 trying to flip Block of Napalm over. Now, we know Block of Napalm can self-right, but P1 using that flipper, almost like a sort of snagging device there, trying to sort of grab a hold of them and drag them across the arena. It didn't quite work on that occasion. Clementine now getting underneath Block of Napalm, as is P1. That back piece once again falling off. Block of Napalm now trying to use those mandibles to sort of get themselves off of that back piece, but I'm not too sure if it's gonna work. They're now getting themselves caught on the arena side wall, courtesy of P1 trying to get them upside down once again. I think Block of Napalm here are actually stuck on their own body part. I'm not too sure if they can get off of it. If they can't get off of it, they could very well be counted out here. Yes, look! The wheels are off the ground! They've completely beached themselves. Clementine with a little bit of a nudge. I love Clementine. Look how cute it is. Great to see it back in action after it got absolutely muddled. Look at the look at the face of Block of Napalm. Even it doesn't know what's going on anymore. I don't think any of us do. Well, it's being counted down. That's what the little graphic in the bottom corner is telling me anyway. Which means it can't get off that panel piece. That's a bit of a disappointing way to go for them. But they have lost via KO, and that's another 3 points to P1. Bit disappointing, really. I must admit, I thought that fight was going to be a little bit more fun than that. Clementine hit the pit button, but it was all to no avail, really. Block of Napalm got stuck on his back panel, and that was it. I guess that's the only way you can KO Block of Napalm, other than pitting it, of course, is to get it stuck on its own body parts. Not really too sure that's in the design briefing, but ah well. Block of Napalm lose, P1 win.
A beautifully controlled win for the Golf Liveried bot ties them for points at the top with Pain and in a strong position to go through. We have had confirmation from the pits that Jeff is repaired, so let's see if there is any lingering issues against a so far pointless diabolical toothpick.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So this is the moment where we see how well 2Jeff 2 Fabulous has been repaired. Well, it looks okay to start things off. Gave a little bit of a warning shot there to Diabolical Toothpick, but it's not moving smooth, is it, 2Jeff 2 Fabulous? Sort of jolting around, darting around a little bit. They might be having control problems. They're not causing much damage to Diabolical Toothpick, and Diabolical Toothpick now bringing the claw down. Can they cause damage? Can they do more damage to that spinner mechanism? I'm not too sure. They've certainly managed to grab a hold of 2Jeff 2 Fabulous. And 2Jeff 2 Fabulous can't really do anything here, but then again, I don't think Diabolical Toothpick can do much to them either. It's a little bit of a stalemate here. That's a shame. And Diabolical Toothpick know it, and they're having to let go now and reverse, try and come back. 2Jeff 2 Fabulous is barely mobile though, so I think this fight could well be Diabolical Toothpicks at this rate. Oh my goodness me! Until that moment, where did that come from? 2Jeff 2 Fabulous all of a sudden waking up, better late than never I suppose, and tearing off that wheel of Diabolical Toothpick. And I think that's it for the crusher of Lego Wars. Another hit there from 2Jeff 2 Fabulous. It just throws itself into the side wall. They're certainly having control problems, but when all is said and done, the damage has been done there, yes, and now Diabolical Toothpick being counted out. 2Jeff 2 Fabulous releasing the pit and nearly throwing themselves in it. They were very lucky to stay away there. And now they have... That fight was a little bit up and down, really, wasn't it? Diabolical Toothpick certainly started this stronger, as Jeff didn't really seem to have much control, really struggled to find its bearings. Of course, managing to bring that crusher in, but unfortunately they couldn't do much. And then out of nowhere, Jeff got that snipe shot in on that wheel, and that was it, really. Diabolical Toothpick were finished. And Jeff get the 3 points.
Not the strongest performance from the 5th seeds, but they do get revenge from Series 1 and can side Diabolical Toothpicks at the foot of the table, leaving them with just pride to fight for in their final fight against the daunting Pain.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, Diabolical Toothpick are currently sitting at 0 points, so they're definitely not going to make it past the heats, but it would be nice to see them get at least a consolation point, though I don't think it's going to happen. Not against Pain, not against that terrifying spinner. This is a robot to watch out for. This is a machine that has destroyed every opponent it's been against so far, and I don't think it's going to be much longer until it can get the damage shot on Diabolical Toothpick, and there it is. One of the wheels taken off straight away. This is the most dangerous spinner I think we've ever seen in LEGO Wars at the moment. It's certainly up there with the likes of Whitehall. Oh, goodness me. And it's only a matter of seconds, surely, until that happens. Diabolical Toothpick sent down the pit, and Pain with yet another convincing KO victory. Oh, goodness me. Well, Diabolical Toothpick tried. I guess that's all we can really say about it. They used good evasive driving early on, but unfortunately it was only a matter of time until Pain were able to get the wheel off. And they did. And after that, Diabolical Toothpick had no answer, and Pain knew exactly what to do, and that was to release the pit, and then send Diabolical Toothpick down into the abyss, before sending the tyre into Narnia.
A third destructive KO confirms Pain as the Heat winners, while Diabolical Toothpick joins Annie from last week on 0 points. There's still plenty to play for the remaining robots in the running though, so it's up to the seeds to see who will claim second in the Heat.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So now it's time for the 2 seeds to clash. The number 16 seeds P1, the number 5 seeds 2 Jeff 2 Fabulous. 2 Jeff 2 Fabulous has already caused severe damage to the front there of P1. But Clementine, the Minibot for P1, doing a very good job in pinning them into the arena sidewall there. Clementine, it may look like a little bit of a fun novelty, but it is actually a very effective Minibot. It has helped P1 in buckets and spades in this Heat so far. P1 itself has been no slouch, don't forget. That wedge has been very effective. 2 Jeff 2 Fabulous. For me, it's still struggling from the effects and from the aftermath of meeting Pain earlier on in this Heat. Remember, he got absolutely pulled apart by them. They only just managed to get it fixed for their last fight. They were lucky to be able to take off Diabolical Toothpick's wheel in that battle, and they are definitely struggling here, getting caught on bits of debris. I think the weapon is completely stopped as well on Jeff. It's all going completely wrong for them. I do think even if they lose this fight, they have made enough points to make it into the bracket, but nowhere near with the amount of points we thought they would have done. Remember, they're seeded 5th for this series. And the way they've been in this heat, I'll honestly be surprised they even managed to make it into the top 10, and they've been pitted there with a well-timed push by P1. Brilliant work there. Oh! And now Clementine getting underneath P1. I think getting a little bit angry that P1's taking all the credit for these wins. I'm better than you. Anything you can do, I can do better, says Clementine. P1's not having any of that and now pushing Clementine back. This is great stuff. A lovely little fight between the siblings. Well, P1 being pushed back by Clementine. Oh, wait, no. P1 pushing Clementine back now against him in the sidewall. Oh! Nearly pushing it out the arena, and now Clementine doing a handstand. Well, that was brilliant fun anyway. P1 are the winners. Well, Jeff is a very, very poorly robot, isn't it? If they do make it into the bracket, they'll be very, very lucky. They managed to do a little bit of damage early on, but after that, it was all P1 and Clementine, really. Clementine getting underneath and pushing them around. P1 getting underneath and pushing them around as well. The spinner barely worked, and eventually, P1 managed to get Jeff into the pit before having a fight with his little brother, pinning it against the arena sidewall and getting it stuck in a handstand of doom.
Despite some inter-team fighting, P1 claims second overall in the Heat, while a bruised Jeff finishes third with a lot of question marks over its form going forwards. We do have one more fight though, and it has the potential to be the most destructive fight yet, as the dominant force tonight, Pain, takes on their fellow series rookies, Block of Napalm. Somebody get the bin bag.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
You have to feel for poor Block of Napalm here, don't you? With those little mandibles, although to be fair, he did have the better start there of the 2 machines, but Pain, we're just waiting to get that big flywheel up to speed. This is without a doubt one of the most dangerous spinners in LEGO Wars at the moment, up there with the likes of White Hole. And well, we saw earlier what it did to 2 Jeff 2 Fabulous. I thought that was the most dangerous spinner that this series had to offer, but I was obviously very wrong. Although Pain have now been flipped over by Block of Napalm, and Block of Napalm are confident enough to go for the pit button, so they must feel they can get Pain down the pit. They flipped it up and over again. Can Pain right themselves here? Will Block of Napalm cause one of the biggest upsets of this series so far? In a heat full of twists and turns, Block of Napalm could be about to end this heat with the biggest twist of all, with a huge upset win against Pain and that huge flywheel. But Pain bringing the spinner back and has torn half of Block of Napalm's face off. Oh my goodness me. Bits and pieces of Block of Napalm now littering the arena. And it looked so good at one point, but they once again managed to flip Pain up and over. And pushing them against the arena sidewall, they're not giving up, the Block of Napalm team. Once again underneath now and pinning them against the arena sidewall. Could we still see that big upset? Pain need to self-right themselves, and quickly, and they do. Block of Napalm, it may not be the most couth of designs, but you cannot deny it does not die. The only thing that has so far managed to beat it properly is its own back panel, which ironically is the one thing it hasn't lost in this fight yet. Pain, with that big spinner. Look at Block of Napalm, there's only half of it left. Pain, bringing that spin up to speed. Now, just destroying what's left of that bit of Block of Napalm. Getting away from the pit now, causing serious damage to the chassis. But Block of Napalm is still somehow moving, and Pain is very close to the pit there. Can they get away from there? Yes, they can. Good driving there by Pain, nearly reversing into the pit, but slamming on the brakes again. Another huge hit there onto the back now of Block of Napalm. That back panel actually holding firm now. Ooh, Pain very close to the pit once again. Down come the mandibles. Once again onto the spinner of Pain. I think they're trying to get the weapon belt on Pain there. It's not worked. Oh my goodness me. Pain very nearly went down the pit. If this does go to the judges, I think it's pretty obvious who's won it so far on damage and aggression. And, well, to be fair, probably control as well. But you can't deny that Block of Napalm at least gave it one heck of a good go. We're into the final 10 seconds. This is going to go to the judges, or is it? I cannot believe it! Pain in the pit and Block of Napalm have secured 3 points! What on earth? Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, cats and dogs have started living together. The Parliament of the United Kingdom has all of a sudden become a balanced and well-established system, and I actually think I've lost about 5 years of age. Everything else, Pain winning, Pain causing lots of damage, and then in the pit. What?
And astonishingly, Block of Napalm pulls off the upset of the series so far to stop Pain's unbeaten run. It's been an incredible night of action tonight, as for the first time in LEGO Wars history we went the whole heat without a judge's decision. Amongst the combatants, the star performer has to be Pain for bringing a new level of destruction to the arena, while P1 and Clementine did well to also pick up 3 KOs and should be looking good for a decent ranking. An extra shout out to Block of Napalm for putting up a brave fight that may have done enough for a wildcard place later on in the series. That's all for tonight, but join us next time as the 7th seed's Chompy Evo looks to grab a place in the post-season alongside the pecking power of the 14th seed's Mingo. For now though, I've been your host David Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one. Hang on, the mini-bot's called Crab! The mini-bot's a smegging crab!
Anything can happen in the next half hour. Stingray! David, have you stopped recording and started recording?
I have indeed.
No foot tapping, it wobbles the camera.
It does, literally does. Do
That's
not.
where leg wars comes from.
Aggro wobble. You've caused the seagulls to be angry now.